Corissa, I would love for you to share your line to a little bit more on the experience of a generator, and also you were talking about being called out. So why don't we start with how about we start with the generator piece first? So yeah, is that something that you can speak to?
I feel like it's kind of like a little bit of a combination of both, right?
Okay,
So
absolutely.
I have always kind of felt like this very like, in some ways, like a trajectory generator. And I think it's because of the line two profile, right? So when we kind of go inwards, we have to wait almost to be called out, right? We have to wait for something to respond to as a generator, or something to be an invitation to come along if say we're a projector or a manifestor, to wait for the urge. So for me, what I have had to learn is that not everything that comes my way to respond to is something that I need to actually go and do, right? It's kind of like what Kerstin was saying. It's like I have to wait to see if like it's the right thing that's going to call me out of that solitude and out of that like, inward focus that lights, it has to light up my sacral for me to want to engage. And I think that this also sort of plays into maybe like my 2-4 profile, where I find a lot of times, even in my friendships, I kind of hide out until someone comes and like finds me. And if they're asking me to join them to do something, or, I get a phone call, it's like, if I'm not feeling it, I don't do it. And if I feel like my sacral's lit up by whatever I'm responding to, by a friend or an invitation or whatever, then I feel like, okay, great. Like now I have the energy. I have my energy back now because my sacral's turned on. So now I'm ready to come out of that hermit phase and re-enter society and be around people again. And it's something that I've had to struggle a bit with in my friendships, because I've always said, like, I'm really bad at keeping in touch, is something that I've always told myself. And I've told friends, like, I'm really bad at keeping in touch. So if you don't hear from me, like, it's not because I'm not thinking about you or that I don't care. I kind of have to disappear for a little bit, but I always come back. And it's something that I felt like I've needed to make almost like an excuse for, as opposed to what I should be doing is what everyone else is doing, which is informing other people like, hey, sometimes I need my alone time. I'm just in my cave. And when I'm ready, I'll come out, or if you need me, call me. And then we can kind of like go from there. But it's definitely something that I've felt a little bit of guilt, and probably because of the people pleasing. So it's all tied in.
I like to be like, I'm recharging my batteries currently, so when they're back up full, I'm good to go, and can't give you a timeline. Just, but yeah, absolutely. And that's interesting that it seems to be so intricately tied into your sacral, and you are a sacral generator, so otherwise a pure generator, with an undefined, or I think you said open emotional solar plexus. So yeah, so for you it is that or however that shows up for you. And Kerstin, would you also agree to that same feeling about how as Corissa was relaying, that her sacral kind of triggers the calling out and the, hey, I'm ready to come back and get back into the swing, because you're also a sacral.
Yeah. So what I also, sorry. So with the sacral, I recently, like a couple of weeks ago, we did a launch. And it was not my first one, but it was the first one where I intentionally used and listened to my sacral. So I really got into I was in the right space. Like I manifested, like I envisioned how the launch would go. And that helped me to turn the sacral on. I can say my sacral was on fire. It felt like a wheel inside me that was constantly turning. I was making connections like crazy. I was showing up. I was connecting with people, talking. I was not a two in those moments. I was really called out, and I initiated it by really feeling into it and seeing myself in that launch and how I wanted to show up, and that turned it on. So I kind of managed to turn myself on, and then being in that phase where I was like, and then I really felt, okay, now I need to rest. It was like whoop, and
Yes, because I mean the truth is even generator types are not 24/7, right? And just, all types need to rest. So I can as one MG to another, I totally feel you on that. It's like we go for a while and then it's like, okay, just need to sort of Netflix and chill for a while, just kind of need to decompress or take a hike or just be outside. So yeah, absolutely.